Hey guys, this episode of Me Time is going to have a bit of a disclaimer and a bit of discretion advised. We get into some real topics, some real themes. Some of you might be uncomfortable listening to it.
All contacts for any services you may need are down in the description.
Hello, guys, and welcome back to Me Time. This is a big one for us. It's tricky. It is.
We've had the idea for a while. It's
Yeah.
been sort of like putting into like, I'm gonna do it now. This is interesting.
It's so nice to see you all again. It's been a while since the ending of Me Time, Phase 1 being out on YouTube now, and Spotify, of course. But if you've been in tune with the podcast, thank you, firstly. And secondly, you would know that a great deal of conversations, we relate to our own experiences. And part of our conversations end up referring to our experience and battles with mental health.
Yeah.
It's a sensitive topic that is dear to Elliott and I, and we talk about it in aid of others as well, of bringing awareness, bringing light to such topics as well.
I think also like education to a degree, like like our experiences and trying to like deal with it and what we've done to make things better.
Yeah.
Conventional, non-conventional sort of thing, like what's working and what's not working.
Okay.
Sort of in the aid of others, like
Yeah. So yes, this episode was always going to happen. Today we will be speaking in support of the charity Samaritans. I have linked the Samaritans before. I have left the details in most of the descriptions. They are a charity that are very dear to me, as I will discuss in this podcast. And I will be sharing my story. I will be speaking up and speaking out. Elliott will be sharing some of his experience as well.
Yeah. I mean, I should probably add some context beforehand. If I don't speak a lot, it's not because I'm not only up. I spoke a lot in episode 5 about my issues, and I don't want to like just sprawl stuff out again. It makes no sense. So if in regards to sort of variations of help, is what I would like to try and do this episode.
On that, I will say we are raising money for the Samaritans. So any bit of money helps. Anything at all is a magical support in aid of a fantastic charity that have done so much good. So the link to donate is the first thing that you will see in the description below. So tap that and that will take you to a page where you can follow the details and donate whatever you can at all. Anything helps. And if you've come from the fundraising page, welcome to Me Time. Thank you for joining us. You will know me as Matt. This is Elliott. If you've not met him before, I'm sure some of you have been acquainted with him. And today we will be telling our stories. So thank you for coming and thank you for listening. Okay, no time like the present.
Yeah.
Where do I start? Let me start with me. Me time.
Yeah.
Let me start with me. I have had battles with my own head for as long as I can remember. It would not be fair to say that I had that as a young boy. I was a very happy young boy. I had a loving family, really good friends surrounding me, and good circumstances with the schools that I went to as well. All things considered, I was a lucky boy. I was lucky boy. I was loved, and I certainly felt it. which was it's nice. It really is. School changed quickly for me when it came around to secondary school. I know for many people, secondary school is a very happy place. You make loads of new friends, responsibility increases, and your horizons begin to map in front of you. Options open. It isn't just the core curriculum and the foundational curriculum that you are limited to, that the world begins to become your oyster, and you start to learn more about the world around you rather than the key stage 3, key stage 2 sort of specs. So it is a good time, and yeah, of course, yeah, you make loads of new friends. But for me, it was tough, and I'm not going to say like this is where it all began. Not necessarily. I also had a load of good friends in secondary school, namely Elliott as well. This is where Elliott and I met. We met in year 7, and the rest was sort of history. You know, we've been friends ever since. So
been lucky everyone.
yeah, best friends for a very long time, my friend. I began to feel as though I needed to find who I was within this school. Within the future was being mapped out for me. I was not alien to the fact that things were going to change. Opportunity was in front of me, a potential career, maybe a potential a future, being stable as well. You know, the whole talk of being in a family, getting into a relationship, that sort of stuff. And I was so focused on that. I mean,
we both are on it.
Well, yeah,
we've got that sort of motivation in regards to that sort of side of things.
So, yeah. The motivation to do it was high, and I kept on trying my best. And I felt as though this commitment was sort of the beginning, really, of me not looking after myself. I put, because I'm a doer, I felt like I was a doer. I always try to complete things and get things done because I know I've got it in me. I know I can finish things, see it through to the end. And I struggled. There were so many things I struggled with education, boundaries and barriers, friendships as well. That began to change drastically as well. And I began to feel a bit lost. So naturally, what I then did when all of this started to get, because I was young, I still had a lot to learn. I'm not saying this is where the problems started, you know. This is where I'm trying to tell my full story here. So
where your foundation is kind of unstable.
Yeah.
That sort of secondary school sort of thing. You don't really understand who you are at secondary school. Like you try to.
This is what
clue what's going on.
Yeah, and this is what I'm trying to say. And with this aimless sort of mindset, I latched onto something which did bring me happiness, making other people happy. And I noticed this a fair bit in school and outside of school with my friends, my family, and even the jobs that I started to do, a part-time job. It was my job to make other people happy, be it customer service or service or duty of care, you know. I relished in making people laugh and sharing my talents and vision with them to inspire them, to make them happy. And then this brought me happiness for a very long time, which was lovely. Then this thing that started within school, this almost plateau forwards of you must meet certain criteria to show that you are good at this. Came with a heavy word that has weighed down on me for a very long time: expectation. Yeah, I didn't think that I was worth my own time. When I saw how happy I was making other people, I knew I could do that. But in every other capacity, nothing else mattered. My own hobbies, my own wants, my own desires were insignificant. I viewed them as childish. I viewed them as needless, fleeting in the grand scheme of things. Education takes my priority.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, and relationships take my priority with friends and family, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I can bounce off that to a degree. I mean, I've got the same sort of principles which I sort of live by in that regard. But when you're younger, you kind of give too much away without fueling yourself in the process. So you sort of give a lot of help out. You give your heart out.
Yeah.
And then that is not returned in kind with some people.
Yeah, that's okay, because not everyone that you meet is meant to be in your life. Not everyone will see you the same way. I wanted so greatly to avoid conflict and nastiness, and obviously people saying that no one ever said you're not good enough. What was said to me is just like, you need to do better in your grades, keep going, do that. When it came to social situations where I wanted to feel like I was involved, there were I mean, changes in things that we were doing that I couldn't keep up with. I am very I mean, look at it. We're on a podcast talking about movies, anime, and comics. I am the nerdiest person I know.
Yeah.
I am a nerd. And those are the things that I enjoyed. I enjoyed binging the Transformers movies. I enjoy Dungeons and Dragons. I enjoyed all of these things. But when I was looking at the sort of mainstream media and the way that things were moving forward within education, I felt as though that was just that's unimportant. I don't need to be focusing on this stuff. I need to focus on my future. That none of that matters. My happiness doesn't matter. I just need to do better. I just need to do well. People need to know that I'm trying and I'm a good person, and I want them to be happy, you know?
Yeah.
So I was never in the equation. I just felt as though I was unimportant, and that's when naturally the foundations began to crumble, because that's not healthy. It's not healthy to not consider your own happiness, and when expectation comes into your life, you feel as though you need to keep up.
Well, like even when people are asking for help, to a degree, like if you yourself aren't in a condition to be able to help, sometimes that advice kind of becomes hollow. And as much as someone's struggling, they can kind of read through it, and to a degree, the amount of times where like you try and help someone in an issue, and sometimes you may even not be educated in that issue enough to even talk about it to a degree, and you can try with all your best intentions to try and help them, but because that advice is hollow, it doesn't stick, and you've just wasted energy on something that hopefully could have done something really. The intentions were good, but unfortunately, like, the energy wasn't there in regards to this will last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when things began to change after college and moving on to university, everyone that was in my life that I was trying so hard to make happy left, which is fine. Everyone pursues their own goals. But then that left me alone, which again is completely fine. People leave and people go all the time. I was left with myself, though. That was a problem. That was a problem because I was the one person that I didn't like. You know, I was left with almost nothing. You know, there was just a blank canvas. So I desperately sought to make people that weren't well happy in my life. And that's a good thing that I tried to do that.
Yeah.
But sometimes
It's a good thing, Prince.
I couldn't grasp at that point in time as a young man the severity that depression has on people. I encountered depression, not myself at that time, but through others.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand it. I didn't.
Yeah.
It was, oh, you're sad. Why don't we just do a thing that you like? That will make you happy. I didn't get it. I didn't understand that was, for the grand scheme of things, it was a temporary solution. They look at the long term and they just think, what's the point?
Yeah.
That's nothing. That's just like, you know, everyone. I'm not saying that is the definitive bracket of depression. It is unfortunately quite a wide definition where everyone experiences it differently. You know,
I mean, from my own experiences, like, you know, the physical ramifications are like not being able to get up even when your alarm's gone off and you've had a full night's sleep. Is that this sucks. And the sort of draining energy sort of thing. Like you're trying to sort of get the wheels kind of go, oh, I want to do this, but there's just nothing in the tank to be able to do so.
Yeah.
And it takes an awful lot just to get up and go out. Try and push through it, but yeah.
To flash forward from that and not being able to understand the importance of that, I almost unintentionally became quite naive to my own mental health. I didn't think that I would ever be sad because I had a brilliant childhood. I just thought, like, well, I'm a happy person because others make me happy. But then I went back to myself and I realised, oh crap, I've still got to keep going forward. I got so distracted to make others happy that, oh my gosh, I've got to get a job. I've got to make a future for myself. I lost sight of my core, which in essence is, who are you and who do you want to be? And in that moment, I looked at everyone around me that hadn't lost sight of that and were doing amazing things and great things. And I felt worthless. I genuinely felt like a fool. I felt stupid. I felt like you have neglected yourself for so long that you don't even know who you are and you summate to nothing. In the grand scheme of things, I don't see you having purpose, because you're just part of the crowd. You're an insignificant name, and if you vanish tomorrow, no one would care. That was heavy. Because from that moment that I said that to myself, I've reflected upon my past, not like a new light, but almost a cast of shadow went over it. And I didn't look at things through a positive light anymore. I looked at it through a negative light. I looked at myself, the young boy that I was, And I looked and I said, no one really cared about you. That was just temporary. Honestly, I just felt as though, yeah, take me out. I'm no one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an important point to pick up on. Like, I opened up before we start filming this in regards to like my own sort of story in regards to that sort of side of things, and you know, it's kind of weird. We both came to the conclusion that we've both tried it. I'm trying to word this without monetizing, but we'll give it a go. And you know, inevitably to get to that place, you've got to feel like you are worthless. You don't, like, if you were to leave tomorrow, there would be no impact on the wider world. Sort of thing. But I had a weird scenario in regards to my reflection in regards to giving stuff a go. My first sort of try failed, and the first try was sort of very sort of, there wasn't much about it. It was just depression again. It was my second try that was a kind of a wake-up call, because it had failed again, and in failing again, I was kind of there going, why? Why has it failed again? What am I supposed to be doing? And it's why I question it a lot now, in various different questions in regards to like, and why I appreciate the smaller things in life now, because I appreciate life's sanctity, that sort of thing. Because to have tried it twice and both times been unsuccessful, you kind of get an appreciation for your own morality to a degree. We were saying before this conversation that, you know, when I go out on a walk, or if I go if I go into a room, I don't experience, I feel like I don't experience it like most people, and it I kind of feel like it benefits me in the long term, where I notice the small things, like the way someone looks at something, or the way someone smiles in a certain way, or the way someone's eyes reflect back on you when they're having a conversation with you. But that didn't happen because I was looking for it intentionally. I kind of happened because I kind of started to appreciate my own life more. Just the rarity of it, and being able to sort of appreciate those small things. We said before, like, if you get time, like, experience 5 minutes. There's a experience I had recently, where I went to a singles night up in London. I hate London. Any sort of high density areas, I'm at sort of a high risk of sort of tripping over. But for this thing, the singles night finished. I spoke to a couple of people, which was quite nice. And my train was leaving later than I anticipated. And I've always liked the Embankment. There's one place in London that I actually quite like, and that's the Embankment. And I walked to Wagamama's, and I remember I've never had a meal on my own before. I walked to Wagamama's. I literally ordered a meal on my own. I ordered like a herbal tea and a meal. And sitting there, not talking to anybody. Say Wagamama's that you'd order anywhere else. For whatever reason, this meal tasted a lot nicer. And I can't tell you the reason why. I don't know the reason why, but it just did. But yeah, just like you can just appreciate it in those 5 minutes.
I would agree with that. To jump in, and I've mentioned this on the channel before. Even if you're taking 5 minutes out of your day to just be you by yourself, do something that you yourself, enjoy. No one else. If it is just treat yourself to a coffee, sit yourself down at the table, watch a few reels on YouTube, or write that book you've always wanted to write, or make plans, do that drawing, book yourself a holiday, or book yourself a cinema ticket, and great, you've got another experience at the end of the week. Or even like you were saying as well, go to a restaurant. I remember when I did that on holiday, everyone went off to do an activity that I decided not to do because I didn't want to do the activity. It was directly related to my phobia.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very uncomfortable, and I thought, like, no, you guys, totally fine. You're okay to go off and do that. So I was by my lonesome. So what do? I'm not going to sit at home waiting for them to come back twiddling my thumbs.
Mm.
I'm going to go out and I'm going to experience this brand new country by myself.
Mm.
And I took myself to a restaurant.
Oh, nice.
I was nervous,
very
nervous. But I sat down and I ordered a fantastic meal, and the whole atmosphere around me, it was gorgeous.
Mm.
It's lovely. You're just in the world experiencing, and that's what it's all about. And something I will speak about later. Just being, in comparison to how I felt, a one insignificant man in 8 billion who no one would notice, vanished, to being a very significant being in the middle of a very vast, beautiful, chaotically beautiful world. I would say chaotically beautiful.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so when, how do I phrase it, or how do I look at it? So in episode 5, basically, I've I struggle with PTSD, and I've been actually lucky this year. It hasn't affected me too much, which has been quite nice. I've actually been sleeping a lot better, which is quite nice. And able to get from there to here. I've never gone the conventional route doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like my to get out the hole for, you know, PTSD. I wanted to look for something that sort of functioned, and I didn't want to be in the same position I was before, to have those flashbacks. And I was really up on therapy, all sorts of stuff, and I wasn't talk. I didn't talk to my parents at the time. I probably should have done. They know now, but anyway. And I can't remember what they call it. But it is a form of therapy where you put yourself in uncomfortable environments, and you kind of get used to them.
I know what you mean.
And that's kind of where Krav got involved, and I specifically looked at Krav not for actually the defense to a degree. I mean, it did have weapons, which is also my concern. It was a stress test that kind of was the thing that I was looking for, where, you know, you put yourself in a scenario that I admit there have been flashbacks during the stress test, which is not ideal. Thank you, John and Kevin, for helping me out on those ones. Yeah. Kind of soon. But in getting used to sort of like the adrenaline on a stress test, I was able to sort of get used to adrenaline in like just normal life. And so outside of Krav, I was starting to sort of challenge myself a little bit as I go, and this is where I kind of watched Batman or something. And I like it, Batman is like embrace your fear sort of thing. And I think I just come up to watch you binge, and I mentioned it on a previous episode, I think, but like you know, I went to a club on my own, and stone cold sober, literally just to embed myself in the crowd. And again, adrenaline was, I was sweating, and I could not hold eye contact with anybody. I was literally there, kind of in the corner of this club, just like, I'm here, shit. But it was funny because in those moments where like you kind of isolate yourself and put yourself in sort of uncomfortable scenarios, someone will always look at you, or someone will always sort of make eye contact with you, whether you like it or not, and make conversation. And I can't remember. I think it was a group of guys came over and was like, "Are you here on your own?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Why?" It was like, "Oh, I just come to experience the club sort of thing." It was like, and I remember I actually got bought a drink by these guys, and I think I spent the evening with them. The evening with them. I don't know who they were,
Nice.
but I sort of bought a drink, and that was kind of the night. But that's kind of how I've been dealing with it ever since. It's been sort of like
Nice.
I know the weaknesses in PTSD. Like I know the failures where it can hit, and rather than kind of running away from them, I've been kind of running towards them.
Yeah.
Like a madman. Just like, oh, let's try this, let's try that. The only thing I cannot do right now, and I screwed up a day over it, is Friday nights. Oddly for October. But anyway, just differentiating between a real threat and a acting threat.
Yeah.
Is difficult, and
Yeah.
I do not want to be, attacking someone who's not a threat. I did try it last year.
All right.
A thought park. I think it's a ride where like you go for actors, and it was interesting. I didn't so much have a panic attack in regards to a flashback. I had a panic attack in regards to, oh shit, I could do some harm to somebody else. I don't know what to do. Bang. But if you are going for a panic attack, I'd again direct you to episode 5, but also at the same time, like breathing is like a massive
8 part 2.
Yeah. Sorry.
Episode 8 part 2
Episode
is
8.
the one that you
Sorry.
your experience with panic attack.
8 part 2. Sorry. Where I kind of talk you through the feeling of it and trying to get you out of it.
Definitely. That's the one.
But core principle is just trying to breathe, and just sort of breathe and try and reacclimate to yourself. But that's kind of my experience in regards to how I've been dealing with it ever since. Also, why I am here, and Ryan will hate me for it. Ryan himself, he won't admit it, deals with that anxiety. Sorry, Ryan. But he's been doing some awesome things recently, and I just want to call him out for it. Where me and him have been going to the bar, and he knows he drinks a lot in regards to getting confidence. But he's not been doing that recently, and we've been going to the bars, literally just experiencing the bars as they are. And I just want to kind of salute Ryan there and kind of go, good for you, mate. Yeah.
It's changes. People making changes, and this is the important thing. Trying to be to not adapt to the world around you, unfortunately, is gonna hurt. As I will discuss. Unfortunately, things do change. Not everyone changes, but you got to adapt.
Yeah.
At the core, you can still be the same person. You can be you. But you've got to put tools into your arsenal. Tools that you use to not to protect you necessarily. Yes, to protect you, but so you can endure and be your best self.
Yeah.
Experiencing life. Which is what I learned. Unfortunately, a bit too late. So
At least you learned.
yeah, I did learn. Yeah. So I mean, I spoke a lot about the foundations there, and I got to the sort of like beginning of the sort of like pit that I fell into. So with this self-hatred that was blossoming, I suppose is the term that I should use. It's quite the oxymoron.
Yeah,
there, if you pardon. This self-hatred that was festering.
That's right.
It just got more and more, and the expectation just got higher and higher. I always wanted to complete things and do things and still look out for others. I cared very deeply for everyone around me. And every time that I didn't do as good as them and could keep up with them, and I kept on comparing myself, it broke. It just shattered bits of me.
That's kind of like the young sort of male.
Oh,
as you brought up, sort of thing.
I'd say it's young.
Yeah,
a young thing in general.
Like the constant sort of competition.
Which is it was a young thing, and what I was slowly inducted in is that that's very not much the case. Yes, you're in your own lane. Yeah, you've still got to keep up, but you can go at your own pace.
Yeah, no, I mean, again,
mentally speaking. Sorry.
Yeah. Again, I would say competition is healthy, whether you like it or not. However, you're in competition with yourself before you are with others. There's a thing that we've been riding on for ages, and it actually came from Matthew McConaughey, of all people. He's been doing some good stuff recently. But there's a quote that's been sitting with me for ages, and I don't know if I listened to it or heard it or if I read it. But the quote was, make sure to remember your small victories and how you got them.
Oh, absolutely.
And how you got them as well. And try, but like, so if you know how you got them, can you then try and recreate them? I mean, you probably won't, but like if you endure to try and recreate them again, you feel like you've achieved more of the process. I mean, people have probably noticed that over my Instagram, to be honest, where I think, was it last New Year's Eve or previous New Year's Eve? I'd never set a New Year's Eve resolution, but I did a couple of years back, and the resolution for that New Year's Eve was, I'm going to count my small victories. So that's why I'm annoying as fuck and post all my running stuff and all my craft stuff now, and various other sort of small certificates that I may gain, just because they are achievements, and you got to take them on as they are. Everyone's different. We know that. So those small victories, if you can hold them and keep them with you, then they kind of feel like a larger victory in the end, sort of thing.
And I very much agree that what I failed to see as I was growing up is that I need a large success in order to feel happy. I need a good job. I need to give back to the world, to be noticed, to truly commit and be a cog in the system that people notice and go like, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But it wasn't happening. For others, it was. And it happens in different ways. Again, it's not what you know. Sometimes it's who you know.
Yeah.
And I didn't know many good links back then as well, so I wasn't able to get in that sort of caliber of career. So I believed I should have been capable of doing this sort of stuff, and the fact that I still wasn't seeing big success in all of the small things that I was doing day to day, socially and education wise and job wise, I wasn't giving myself any relief. The small relief I gave myself was from physical exercise, which did give me a great deal of comfort. I looked at the progress that I was making physically, and I was very happy with myself there. But I became so absorbed with that eventually, when I would get an injury, or several injuries, pulling a muscle and spraining things, it would prevent me from doing exercises, and then I would get in a really bad mood. And when I was in a bad mood, when I was sad, when I felt lonely, which goes on to what I'm about to say next, I would not tell people. I would keep fit to myself. I saw the amount of suffering that some people went through, and going back to what I said previously, I felt I couldn't help them. I wasn't worthy of that. I didn't know what I was talking about. So why am I worth someone's time, this insignificant burden on top of their day-to-day piles?
Yeah.
So when someone asked me if I was okay, I'd always go, yeah, I'm fine.
Hello guys, it's Matt. If you've been affected by any of the details in our stories today in this instalment of Me Time, the link to get in contact with the Samaritans is in the description below. There is a phone number and an email address. They are open all the time and are a fantastic help. If you haven't already, please consider donating. Any amount of money for this fantastic charity will help fund calls and recruit volunteers, so we can remind everyone that they are not alone. We can save lives together.
It's tough.
I think
It's tough. I mean, I felt as though when I did open up slightly, that my problems were just insignificant to the grand scheme of things. I'm sad because I can't do well at what I want to do. I'm sad that everyone is going off faster than me, and they've got big groups of friends, and I feel like I'm not involved. I'm sad because I feel worthless. You know, and again, some of the advice of people that didn't understand back my way made me feel like I wasn't noticed. And I'm not saying that everyone didn't understand me. It's just that's what it felt like. The advice I was given, I was a stubborn fool. I didn't take it because I didn't feel like I should be taking it. I didn't feel like there's a clear logical solution here for me to sort my problems. But I'm not going to take it because I don't want to, because I don't deserve to. That was my headspace. It's just like, this is your gateway to success. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to probably do the mental health space a bit of a disservice, but anyway. But it kind of runs to that point where, like, you know, we're told in the sort of mental health space, like, oh, you take the easy option sort of thing, go see cancer, all that sort of stuff. Which is all good advice to a degree, but I think there's a point to be made in the fact that sometimes the harder option is more reliable.
Yeah.
You get more out of it. You know, a cancer could tell you all they want for years and years. But it's on you to act on their advice. but also, if a friend is giving you advice, if you haven't got cancer involved, your family giving you advice, it's your responsibility to act on that advice. It's, you said earlier, like, it's very easy to sort of sit down and mellow and not do a lot.
This is what I wanted to say. and it's something I realise now, but something I didn't then. It is so easy to just give up. It's so easy. Everything is just crushing you down and you feel so sad. It's so easy to be sad. It doesn't require any effort. And sometimes being happy requires difficult decisions, and it is a hard thing to do, to be happy sometimes. So of course, the alternative is gonna be just like, I'll just, can't be bothered, I'll just stay sad. Of course, but it is so tough for people that feel as though they can't speak out, like I was as well, because they don't like themselves, or they feel like 1 in 8 billion, that's just not worth time, you just feel as though those steps that you need to climb in front of you, your stairway to happiness and being you, it's going to be taxing on your body and your head to walk it. So just don't walk it at all. People turn around and tell you, well, why aren't you taking the staircase? You know who you are. Again, my family and friends from when I was a young man, and of course yourself, from secondary school. All these people that I didn't see I didn't see then as people that loved me and cared for me. I saw them as people that, like, you don't, because I know I just view myself as such a needless, nasty, no one. So why would you love me? You're lying.
Yeah.
And even that wasn't my attitude all the time. It was just, they would come up to me and I would still have really good days and good times. But in the core of things, if someone genuinely said, "Are you really, really happy right now?" the answer would be no. If I had to be hand against, in the court of law, "Are you a happy person?" I'd be like, no. Inside me is an emptiness, and I can't even fathom how to fill that right now. So then along came a thing called COVID.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh,
COVID
it could not have been at a worse time.
Yeah.
Many people enjoyed the pandemic because they could spend time with their family and be at home and not work. For me, as I said, this running theme throughout this podcast, what I've said, I'm a doer. I move forward again, just not looking at myself, and I move forward to a goal. I was looking to get a career at this point. I completed university. I'd got my drawing skills up to par from what I believed was passable. So I started trying to focus on getting an art career. And of course, I wasn't going to get it in COVID because it was just the competition in the industry was high, and the industries were shutting down.
They're still recovering now.
And still recovering now, and some of them haven't recovered at all, which is so sad. I did not like COVID because I was left with my own head, and it worsened it. I was left with my own thoughts, and of course that made it a nasty time.
It's probably a kind of point to touch on, because like for me and you both through COVID, like we still hadn't reached our sort of foundational sort of philosophies at that point. Our
friendship through COVID was tested.
Yeah,
it was, because again, like you said, it was we didn't know who we were.
No.
And we were still struggling to find that out indirectly. So sometimes I'd go off and do something that I thought would make me happy. I.e., I don't know. That's an example. I remember it was going to a party in the evening, just a barbecue, and just sitting and having a chat. And I was just like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I don't want to just sit down and do nothing. I'm a doer. I want to go off and I want to have a laugh in a pub and a chat and play some games. I want a board games night. I want to go for a walk. I want to do all of these things. I want to watch a movie. The single greatest thing that I could possibly do to improve my mood is take myself to the cinema and sit down and watch a movie. Again, 5 minute, to take your time and do what you want to do. That's my safety space, the cinema. I wanted to do that, and I didn't, because all of my friends at the time were doing this, and I thought, like, well, if they're doing this, logically, I should do this, because they do that, and it will make them happy that I'm there, even though I don't want to do it. And I was doing things that I didn't want to do to make others happy, so I wasn't putting myself first.
Yeah, it's that really difficult juxtaposition. I found a lot as of this year and last year, maybe. I've been very cutthroat over the last 2 years in regards to who I keep custom with. If someone is to break the rules of how I deal with people, then did they cut out? Or like, if I don't feel like, if I spend time with them and my energy's not going anywhere, they get cut out too. And is that cutthroat? Yes. But in the same breath, I know that all my energy is being directed in places that are worth it. So when I come around here, it's worth it. When I go and speak to you, when I go and speak to Ryan, when I go and speak to George, various other people, I know in the moment that I met you guys, or had a conversation with all of you guys, that one, I've been listened to, two, you've been listened to, we've had a decent conversation, but we can also openly sort of like talk about our fears, all that sort of stuff, or like our problems that are going through a life right now, and all that sort of stuff. We can speak very openly, and that's only come over a lot of time, and a lot of breaking a few eggs sort of thing. But I don't have a large friend group, but I know for a fact that the friend group that I do have is reliable, without a doubt. And a lot of people don't have that. And I said before coming here, like, me and you are lucky now in regards to, like, we've had our sort of difficulties in communication over time, but we've stayed in touch. But like, we've got to a stage in friendship now where we recognise looks for each other, and this is all through all my group. We don't say that we're having issues sometimes, but we'll recognise the look and kind of go, "Oh, hello, I think Matt's got an issue," or "Oh, hello, George's got an issue." Don't say anything, and
we can read each other quite well now.
And
then we couldn't.
And like you kind of have to kind of go, "George, is there something you need to say? Like, are you okay with it?" And then George goes, "Why?" It's like, you got that look. And then you get the conversation, or Matt is like, "Mate," they go, "Matt, you're right. You're not looking too good. You good?" It's like, and you go, "No, I'm fine." I was like, "You sure?" And then you overlap or like all the same. With
it's
just
just
that's a fair point. Like, always ask twice in regards if your mates are okay. Because first time round they probably say no. The second time round they probably break down.
I get it. It's sometimes someone will not want to talk straight up, and don't feel that is your burden to bear and your fault. Do all you can. People that you feel as though you should talk to, do. But trust me, every word counts. Don't take it upon yourself. This is what I thought. I mean, like, I need to be there for everyone all the time. You've got your own life to focus on. You need to look after yourself. Yes, make sure your friends are okay. Make sure that they know they're not alone. But even then, on circumstances where you believe it's spiraling out of control, or when you're in the shoes of being the person that's spiraling out of control, it's time for a change. It's time to talk to someone else. Which brings me to the Samaritans. So when COVID ended, I was in a crisis. My mental health was getting lower and lower. My moods were really sporadic. I still felt so far behind that I jumped into a career that I had a good instinct about, and the training was really hard, almost demeaning. Not the career making like pushing me down, the amount of work I had to do and so little time that I was left with outside. I realized small victories was precious to me. The things that I was holding on to not fall into the black void of depression were slowly vanishing one by one. And there was almost nothing to hang on into in the end. And as I kept on moving forward with this career, that last little bit of hope, where I thought it's too late, I need help. Can you help me with this, and this? And help didn't come. A solution wasn't there. And I went to grab out and reach out, and no faith was left. No hope was left. I felt absolutely nothing. My ears were ringing. My heart felt like it was in a vice. My stomach felt as though it had been doused in acid. And I just sat there alone, the world moving past me, and I felt nothing. Where I was trying for so long, right at that moment, I snapped, and all my emotions left me. The voices that had been going on in my head for so long, that I was worthless, don't burden people, don't keep saying that you're fine, they won. I was the most worthless person that in the world at that moment in time. And it wasn't until I realized how severe my situation was when I reached out, of course. I reached out to family and friends. By then it was too late. And things happening in my life at the time started to take turns, which sent me into a state of panic, and a psychotic breakdown. Yeah, that many of you that know me know that I've been through this, and for those of you that don't know that,
here it is.
Yeah, that's what happened that's what happens when you don't let people in for so long. You break, and it hurts. The whole world crushing you down. There were so many tears coming out of my face that I'd been bottling up. I'd never let my emotions out. I'd never shown that I was able to cry, ever able to be emotional, ever be vulnerable. And it just all came up. Years and years and years of holding on to pain just exploded out, all of it in 10 minutes. And that wasn't healthy, because then my body crashed. I passed out. I hit the floor. And when I came to, I went into a state of psychosis where I became quite infantile.
Oh, interesting.
I spoke like an infant.
Yeah.
And things, because my brain retreated to a time of its life that it was happy in.
Yeah.
And I just felt, it was really bad what had happened to me. But at that moment in time, my brain had just pushed it under the carpet
Mm.
again. It was its own way of saying that was awful. That was really bad. So let's be better now. Okay, let's cope. So I'll take you back to a time. I'll take you into the safety net here where you were okay, which was when I was a child, and that's when I was speaking quite childish.
Mm.
And I was just like, it doesn't matter. Everything's fine. Why is everyone, the paramedics above me, taking readings of my heart?
Yeah.
Like, there's no fuss. It's fine. What does this do? Oh, I've never had this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I laugh. I look back at it as in a funny way, really not okay.
Yeah, no.
Because then at that moment, the paramedics were kind of like, you're clearly not okay.
Mm.
Physically, your readings are fine. Mentally, we can tell you're not. You are struggling.
I think that's a weird thing in mental health, though. Like, it does have physical effects, but when most of the body doesn't show it.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel it sometimes because like sweat, all that kind of stuff. But like, other times most of the time the body doesn't show it. It's weird, but you feel it. You definitely feel it because
very
there's
much
definitely
so.
pain there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So what happened next was, of course, I took time off of work, and I decided to step down from my career because it kept on getting worse and worse, and I spent time at home alone, away from everyone. I wasn't talking to anyone. I pushed myself to therapy. Again, that was too late. I'd never seen a therapist in my life until that moment, so I didn't know how to enroll in therapy or go about it. It was all new. I was a very sad person, so all the conversations that we were having, I was very pessimistic. I was very just like, oh, that's a good thing, Matthew. That's good that you feel that way. I was just like, but I don't feel that way. I feel that way, you know? Things started to paint themselves like I should be doing this, this, and this to be happy. And then within weeks of realizing that, the emotions left me again when I realized I don't have access to this. I'm suffering. And then the worthlessness came back, and I felt in that moment in time, because I didn't have a career, no one was in my life, and I didn't want to talk to them because I was afraid of what people would think and how weak I was and pathetic I was. And that single moment in time, I wanted it all to end.
Yeah.
And the only way that I could think about doing that was running away, not coming back. The best way to describe it is not ending one's life, but running into just the distance and not looking back and hiding in a blank white canvas room where no one will be able to know where I am. And that's better that way. I'm out of this world. I'm lost and no one will care. That was a very alarming thought to me. I've never felt that low. I've never felt the tendency to just take myself out of life. That was the darkest I felt. It was the worst I felt. And then the Samaritans came into my life. I saw the link. You are not alone. Contact this number whenever, or email Joe at Samaritans. Someone will be there to talk to you. We're here. So I did. I wrote an email to the Samaritans. I was at my lowest point, so I explained everything. I typed it out, top to bottom. It was easy. Again, it was easy to be sad. Easy to type everything out for them that I hated about myself. So easy. Send. Within a couple of days, they came back.
Okay.
Because I was intent on what they had to say. And it was refreshing to have someone that I didn't know, completely disconnected from my life, just reading my situation and noticing me. I did not feel brave enough to talk to my family, and they asked me why. and they were asking all the right questions. And I kept on talking to them through the email. It was negativity after negativity. I was getting it all out. I was being negative. It was really easy. And they kept the conversations open. They didn't offer me solutions there and then. They just kept me talking.
Yeah, it's kind of that interesting thing again where like you know, having those conversations is tough, but they're kind of knowing when to intervene is all like when someone's sort of laying out their difficulties to you, it's like you know, you gotta let them process it first before you can even touch the idea of like trying to look at trying to sort of re-perspective certain things.
Yeah.
But it's kind of knowing when, and you know, as people who maybe friends of mine who's going through difficulties all that sort of stuff and are trying to help, you know, if you like let them sort of process what's going on, but also don't beat yourself up if you get timing wrong in regards to when you can intervene and give suggestions.
Yeah.
The ability to intervene is way more important, even if it's wrong, than to let them just continue in that same direction.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, like if you can intervene and help and get someone on the right track, do it, even if it's the wrong time, wrong place. Just keep on trying to do it, but also look after yourself as well, as previously.
Because it takes it out of you. You are a battery that has charge, and when you're near other batteries that have low charge, it transfers. But if you have nothing there, it begins to break. If you've got nothing to give, then you're just depleted. You know, so be careful. But I will say these conversations gave me reason. It made me realise that even though previously, through years, my family went through loss. We lost loved ones dear to us, and I felt I needed to be strong for them. And then me turning around and saying that I was weak and I was hurting was the least of their concerns, because they were hurting as well. I didn't want to make it even worse for them. And if it weren't for these conversations I was having with the Samaritans, when I realised that I need to start healing, this is so important. I need to be around for my family, and I can't do that if I'm like this. I need to put healing back into action. So I went back into therapy.
Yeah.
After feeling it like it wasn't working. The advice that they were giving me that I didn't like, I was doing it. The advice I didn't want to hear of, you are worth. You are a good man.
I think there's a point you made also in regards to like the grounding philosophy that a lot of us blokes live by. I don't know.
Everyone lives.
I don't know. Stoicism. That's the thing that I'm kind of going at, because Stoicism is like is useful, like I said previously, but there is a point where they're going, you have to speak to somebody. It's not unbreakable. Like Stoicism is a noble philosophy, but it's not complete, I'd say. You know, like
speak up, speak out.
Yeah, I mean,
no, I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, like you have to be stoic in regards that if people are having issues, but it's also going to the right people when you need to be when you need that recharge.
Yeah.
And knowing who those right people are. You know, I've touched it before, but I want to make a particular point on it. Like the way in which I see that you should get help is first, you, family, friends, and then counsellor. Is the way I'd see it. Is the way I put it. The only reason as to why is because if the family unit is tighter, hopefully you won't need a counsellor.
It differs. I will say. I see what you're trying.
Yeah,
I will see what you're saying. What you're trying to say, but it differs. Everyone's different.
Mm.
I mean, look at me. I didn't feel brave enough to talk to my friends or my family.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you guys came last there.
Yeah.
I talked to someone I didn't know first. I talked to the Samaritans.
Mm.
Then I talked to my therapist.
Yeah.
And then I spoke to my family and friends at that point in time. When life began to change, and I started grieving more. I started letting the hurt fall out of me. I let it out. I told people that I wasn't okay, that I was in therapy, that I needed more help. And the reactions that I got, it was not what I was expecting. It was like, it took a lot for me to get to that stage. It was hard. Again, hard steps. But if it weren't for those initial conversations that I had when I reflected, like, all of this stuff isn't okay, but I feel noticed. This conversation that I'm having is not making me feel lonely. That my suffering is valid. That everyone's suffering in the world, it is valid. Like, you don't have to suffer in silence. Like I thought I needed to. Like, I needed to be strong. No one needs to be strong all the time. Yes, there are moments that when it counts, push comes to shove, be the best person you can be, grit your teeth, bear it, get through it, and then on the other side, just collapse,
decompress,
and just breathe. Of course, there are moments like that you've got to go through in life. I know, I'm sorry. It's hard. It sucks. There will be moments in your life where you have to do something you don't want to do. But deep down in your gut, it's the right thing to do. And that big thing for me was helping myself. I felt selfish. I felt as though what I was doing was self-centered and disrespectful to others around me. I was ignoring people, and I was looking after me, myself, and I thought I was very egotistical, but that was my negative mindset. When I spoke to my therapist and to other people, and I just said, like, I'm putting myself first, that sounds self-centered. Very much a reply from yourself and others. You're like, you're stupid. That's not self-centered. That's good. That's good that you're looking after yourself.
Yeah, well, I kind of have the same sort of issue, sort of thing. It's sort of like, you see people around who have issues or sort of stuff, and they're going, "Oh yeah, sweet. I mean, you can help, sort of thing." But when you're not, when you're not speak by yourself, you're going, "No, actually, this ain't good." I think maybe ego could be maybe defined as like excessive looking after yourself, sort of thing. Like looking after yourself on a base level in regards to like making sure your mental health is okay, your physical health is okay, your relationships okay, like friends, family, all that stuff is all okay. That's not ego. That's I don't know, self-preservation.
That's such a good way of looking at it. Self-preservation.
Yeah. I would say ego is like the excess of that, where you become, when you sort of start like going, "Oh, I'm great at everything." You're there again. No, you're just an arsehole. But
and reflecting on the journey that I took, yes, I and a lot of it is the only person that can help you is you. You can't put your problems into someone else's or a group of people's hands and expect them to be solved, because there will be moments where you're alone and you have to look after yourself, actively being the one to grit your teeth and go, I need to help myself. But even then, I will say, everyone's circumstances, unfortunately, in this world are very different. I was lucky. I was surrounded by a loving family and loving friends, and I know everyone in the world doesn't have that as well. Yes, my family went through loss. We're still experiencing that. We're still grieving. Yes, I'm still not there, but I feel tens and bounds and leaps better. I'm more of a man, more of a Matt, I would say, than I was last year. The difference is almost night and day. Not everyone has that. Not everyone has the support network. Not everyone has friends and family. People will be alone and feel like that they really can't talk. But believe me, with a charity like the Samaritans available, you can. It doesn't have to be that it is to do with your mental health. It could just be that you just want to talk. That's what they're there for, and many people are, you know?
Yeah.
And it's good. It's good to keep talking because you are an interesting person, okay? This whole chaotically beautiful world, 8 billion unique people, so many stories to be told, not all of the people in the world, obviously, but just like, but there's so much potential that we can have to tell our stories in such a big world. Whether we have some divine purpose, whether we have a role to play on this planet on a grand scale, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you only have one life. You've got to be happy with it. And to do that, you need to look after yourself.
Yeah.
Please remember, you are not alone. If you have been affected by anything that we've been speaking about in this episode, please don't hesitate to call the Samaritans or, alternatively, email them. They're there to help. We all are. You don't have to do this alone.
What I will say in reflection of that is, despite the fact that it's, yes, you shouldn't be hypothetical about what things could and couldn't happen. You've got to move forward rather than keep looking back. But I can't help but feel, in a hypothetical world, what would have happened had I not reached out to the Samaritans. If I didn't reach out, I will be realistic. I fear for the life I had there, or the lack of life.
Yeah.
I was heading down a road that would only end one way. And that realization I had this year when I started to put things first that I really like doing. The channel, the podcast, the D&D adventures as well. Going back to a job that I love dearly as well. Hanging out with the people that I love all the time and experiencing and doing things. Back to hooking onto those small things that I thought was just, in the grand scheme of things, like it didn't matter. I realise now that they matter so dearly that now I feel immensely happy. I do. And to look back and see that pivotal moment where I spoke to them, had I not, I just can honestly say they saved me. They saved my life that day. That my darkest hour. Yeah, they saved my life. They did.
Yeah, I think so. My mental health definitely got more stable in regards to embracing sort of all this in regards like being very nerdy, openly quite nerdy.
Oh yeah, I was ashamed. I was definitely ashamed of being a nerd.
Oh god, I mean, you got ripped the crap out. We all did when it was like at school. It was like, "Are you a nerd? God damn, you weird."
Yeah, you're into all of this stuff. That's childish. That's lame.
Not into football. Whatever. That's like, no, I find it weird.
Yeah, and that was a thing as well.
Yeah. But
myself and yourself, we weren't into our sports. We weren't.
No. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of. I'm going to touch a slight point sort of relevant. In regards to like the schooling system and sort of stuff. We're always sort of told that, you know, bullies or sort of have like a motivation to sort of bully someone because they're jealous or that sort of stuff. I will tell you from experience that is not true. And I mean, sometimes it is true, but the majority of the time that's not true. Most of the time, a bully will pick up on someone for, in our case, our interests, being different to most of the crowd, the way you look, the way you hold yourself, the way in which you speak, all the small things that they will just take and rip right into you for. And unfortunately, I'll tell you one thing that will not be some good news, but I'll tell you, it doesn't get any easier coming out of school.
No.
I would tell you now that the grown-ups that we're told are more mature and stuff is a complete lie.
I mean, I've seen, I to carry on what you're saying, I've seen so many comments online, which is a big presence in today's world as well, your online identity, which leads to a lot of insecurity and instability, and it leads to a massive decline of mental health, of course. Yeah. But I saw a lot of it, like getting a career and a job, 9 to 5, and someone said, as a joke, but with very serious vibes, perfect, that's the first day of the rest of your 40-year lifespan from now until retirement. Get used to it. Yeah. I was like, I know you're trying to crack it as a joke, but that's what the world is. You get a career from when you're a young adult until you retire, and you're part of the system. We've all got to work. We've all got to commit and help our family. We've got to look after ourselves. We've got to support the country and the world that we live in. Keep it moving, of course. We've got a job to do to keep ourselves moving forward. That doesn't mean that is our life and who we are. Yeah.
There's a really weird thing at the minute where, like, your work is who you are. And that is not true. The amount of people I spoke to where their work is their life are really boring to speak to. I'm like, God.
I can't. It's not everyone. I'd say there are people that have a really good job that they do all the time. And yet, by some miracle, they still find time to do things that interest them.
Yeah, they're the interesting guys.
But you know, yes, there are a lot of people, and I thought I was going to be that type where your job is your dream. Of course, I love doing this job. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's literally peak. I've self-actualized, and I would think of nothing more than doing that going forward. That's rare. That's so rare to get to, and you've got to really work to get that. To do that, you've got to go through jobs to get there that you might not necessarily like.
Yeah.
But in that essence, sometimes people feel doomed. Like, look at me. I'm doing something I don't want to do. I feel stuck. I feel lost. And again, that's where the mood drops as well.
I think that's kind of where also you probably should, like, you know, crap doors and stuff like try and focus on the outside more if that's the case. Like try and bring the outside, try and bring like your life more meaning to sort of counteract the fact that you're a crappy job sort of thing.
And to celebrate your life, and be honest as well. You want time for yourself, brilliant, find time for it. You're having a really hard time in your job. Be honest, be open about it. All of the problems that you carry on your back that begin to weigh you down and hurt your shoulders, do not think you're a burden. Do not think that those problems and those barriers that you feel as though are forming in front of you, you are no one's burden. It. Do you see what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah. You are not. You are no one's burden. That is correct. However, it's the right people in which those that you are no one's burden. Which means
The right people.
Yeah, and which means the guys who do suffer anxiety, you got a crap gig. Because you've got a really crap thing to get past, where you're very insular, and this is where I was. So I'm not trying to be condescending at all. Like you're really insular, and like you don't want to go out and see people.
Yeah.
And it's the crappiest thing to push past it because you're there going, oh my god, this sucks. But the only way in which you can correct that is by going out and trying to find guys face to face who you can trust and who you can depend on. But the only way you're going to do that is by going outside and getting out your comfort zone.
When you're low, and I will say it's a curve, when you're low, and in comparison to when you're at your best, almost two different versions. The real people that are important to you through thick and thin, through all of it, they're still by your side. They worry about you when you're low. They really like you when you're happy. And even throughout all of that, it's the other way round, and you care for them, and it's this, that, and the other, you know? It's sometimes, and I won't jump too much into this, but it is the trust support network that you can count on, that you think is going to give you the answers not the answers that you want to hear. Let's be clear on that. There's a difference between the answers that you want to hear and the ones that you need to hear.
Yeah.
You're sad? Okay. You don't like this job? I don't know. Report this person that you don't like at work. Yeah? Perfect. That's what you want to hear, because you don't like that person. They're causing your job hell.
Yeah.
What you need to hear is that you clearly have not liked this job for a while. I'm sorry, this is just a hypothetical example, guys. You need to hear that you don't like this job. You haven't liked it for ages. This person is coming along and really aggravating you. Sometimes in those moments, you've got to weigh up, pick your battles. Do I report, or in that moment, do I leave and find a job more befitting of me? Sometimes, well, that's hard. I've got to report, not like fight fire with fire, and maybe he or she is pranking you at work and you prank them back. Now you're literally fighting fire with fire. You're reciprocating that energy, so it will be directed back at you. You know, do something about it. And this is when it also then stems to another thing altogether, which is what I was confronted by when I was in therapy. When they talk and when you are presented solutions to find your happiness, which is what goes through my head and what is the result of said example, do something that will make you happy, boom. It's not that simple though, is it?
Yeah.
If it was that easy, I would have done it. So
Yeah.
it's why bother? It's not that simple. You should do things that make you happy. Oh, great! I'm better. You know.
Yeah, I think
That was I'm speaking as the person that I was.
Yeah.
Speaking. That's what it felt like, and I'm just trying to let you know that is a valid feeling, but yet you you should want to feel happy. You should. And I understand if some of you don't feel that. Despite all of it and all of this good advice in the world and all of these kind voices around you and all of this love, you still feel as though, it's nothing. There's nothing. There will still be people to talk to. You've just got to understand that and this is tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough pill to swallow, that you are the one that makes yourself better. It doesn't matter how long that journey is, but there will always be people to talk to. Always.
Yeah, that's 100% true. I think, even, and this is going to be like, oh boy, even a counsellor can't make you happy. You can't pay them, all of a sudden you're happy within 2 months. They can give you advice, but the work's on you.
But this is just what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And this is what is happening with me at the moment. I get homework. Ultimately, if it was that easy, here is a big red button. You press it.
I'm using your homework.
All your problems go away. What's that?
I'm using your homework at the minute. So,
yeah. But I don't have to do anything. That was easy. I'm happy now. You have to do things. And I'm not saying it's just like sit down and write a 1,000-word essay on why you should be happy. It's not that.
Oh man. 1,000 words, God.
No. What I'm saying is it could be little small things. Like for me, for example, one of the key things that I started to do that was suggested to me and it was tailored to me was write small things down that make you smile or make you laugh during the day. This doesn't have to be a massive contribution to the person you want to be or where you want to go. For instance, I was writing things down as simple as really funny joke at work today.
Mm-hmm.
Or I bought a Lego set that made me happy. I really enjoyed D&D.
Mm-hmm.
And then that started to evolve into, what does that tell you about yourself? If you really like that joke, like, I like humor. What does that tell you? I like to be funny. And then I started learning things about myself, about these small things.
Yeah.
And I was doing it so much when I was low. And I just kept on writing. I was just like, look at all of these things in a day that actually went well. I was training myself to see the positives in the day rather than the negatives. I dropped a glass at work today. That was crap in comparison to everyone laughed. That was funny. I took it on the chin, and then someone laughed and also dropped a glass.
Yeah.
Everything's going wrong. No, haha, that was actually really funny.
Yeah, I mean, flip the view.
Half glass full, half glass empty mentality. And still, that's hard. I think it's very important for me to say here that this podcast isn't a solution to your problems.
Oh no.
This is Elliott and I speaking out about our experience of said mental health problems and obstacles and issues that we faced, and our story and our journey from pain and suffering to where we are now. I mean, take a look at the podcast, guys. I'm not saying watch it from start to finish, listen it from start to finish. Just look at the playlist. That is an example of where we are now.
Yeah.
A very happy, enthusiastic thing that we're doing that we wouldn't have done unless we came to the conclusion that this was something that would ultimately really make us happy. And we're doing it for no other reason than we enjoy it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of nice putting ideas out there, sort of thing. What am I going for? Yeah, I mean, by no means this is not a solution, but
yes,
but also at the same time, just ideas that maybe someone can think on in regards to like how you can move around with different issues.
Mm.
Or I think what would be nice down in the comments, I was sort of thinking about this earlier, is if you come across this podcast and you hear any advice and you've taken any of advice, let us know down in the comments where, like, oh, this is the first time I went to a coffee shop of my own and did this, or the first time I tried this on my own, or first time I met a group of my own.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of quite nice to sort of build up, and then hopefully we'll see.
And I think on that note, the people that do listen to you and the people that do care and listen to you venting, you don't have to do big deeds for them, but at the very least, pull them to one side, give them a hug, give them a crisp high five, and say, "You mean a lot to me. You're a good friend. You're a good person. You're a good lover. Sorry, you're a really good partner. You're a really good family member. Just know that I really appreciate you listening and being there for me." That means a lot to them. And believe me, when you do that, you feel good. You do. And again, I'll come back to the Samaritans, because that's what they do. That is the duty that they have given themselves to people around the world, both anonymous and non-anonymous. They dedicate themselves to listen to everyone, and that's to any voice, be it a struggle of mental health or just to talk. And that is such a noble thing to do, and that deserves a lot of praise in my eyes. And I am one out of so many people that the Samaritans saved and did a very, very good thing. And again, I'd say I owe my life to them, and a whole lot of gratitude, and they will keep continuing to do that. So it is a privilege to think that this charity earns money to keep this activity, to keep this routine going, because we need this sort of thing, especially in the world of today.
Oh yeah.
People talking, we need to keep talking, speak up and speak out. And a charity like the Samaritans, with any little bit of money that they get, it's going to do massive wonders to help them help you, or to help the world, you know? So I will say again, at this point in time, after what you've heard, if you've been affected, don't forget to click that link with the Samaritans. They're there to help, but also we've got that fundraising link as well. And Elliott and I will be donating to the Samaritans. By the time that this is uploaded, we already have. It's a noble cause, and it means a great deal.
Yeah, no, sure. I mean, mental health is definitely a topic these days.
Yeah. So let's not end this unless you have anything else to say.
No, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there is still a chapter to be discussed here. We're not quite done yet. On such a heavy podcast episode where I clearly struggled to tell my story, Elliott, you were very brave, speaking up and out as well. This discussion, we could talk on and on and on about this. And that is what I intend to do. Yeah. I intend to keep talking about my story. I intend to show you more parts of my journey and my story, and to share my story to be one contribution in the many, to speak up, to speak out, to show that you are not alone. And hopefully that this example of someone who has been through it, has been through the works, to get where I am now, to show you that it can be done. And that is why I am proudly announcing, for many of you that already know, but for now this is official. I am part of the hashtag Team Samaritans and will be running in their name in the London Marathon 2026, April 26th. Yeah. I am beyond honoured that I can work alongside the Samaritans to raise money for such a noble charity. It's exciting, to say the least. Yes, I'm nervous. It's a long way to run, but I know I can do it. The motivation and thoughts and prayers behind me getting from start to finish, knowing what I'm doing to show that this journey can be done. A marathon being a representation, a physical representation of mentally what I went through, to show where you can be. You can achieve big things from rags to riches. You can do it. You can.
Yeah, we're both training now for what? Fleet half, and then hopefully you'll do London.
I was going to say, it's when we mentioned in the previous part of the podcast where we said we weren't enthusiastic about sport. Well, fun thing, cute clip of the moment that Elliott and I were running, and I decided to tell him that I was running the London Marathon.
He ambushed you the camera again.
Cute clip.
Sup, me time. I just did a park run with Elliott. He doesn't know that I'm going to run the London Marathon in April, so I'm going to break the news to him now. That was fun, wasn't it? That was great fun. Oh, I don't know. I think I got 27 minutes. But I mean, hopefully that's going to be enough for the future. Do you remember that thing I wanted to tell you, Elliott?
Yeah.
Do you remember that thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm running the London Marathon in April. They contacted me yesterday and asked me to run for them.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
So we're going to be raising money for the Samaritans
Nice.
in April.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, man.
Very nice.
Sorry, guys, I won't distract you any longer.
That's good, wasn't it? We were both knackered. We only did a 5k, to be fair, so it was nice and easy.
Yeah.
But it was nice to have that time to tell him before we recorded this episode. Surprise! I'm running the London Marathon.
Yeah.
I've done a half marathon. And I will continue to train from now until next London Marathon. Sorry, this coming London Marathon. And I intend to show you my journey. I will keep talking out about my story, and sharing my experiences, and show you my show you my growth, and show you how far I'm going. There will be more things to come as well. The fundraising will continue. I will, of course, announce when things happen, as they do, on my social media and on the YouTube page as well. So yes, some of you probably have come from the fundraising page, and if you've come this far into the video, thank you so much for listening. And those of you that haven't come from the fundraising page, and you've come from YouTube or Instagram, or you're on Spotify as well, and on Spotify as well, I will still include this fundraising link. If you can, anything helps. Any little bit of money helps. I and the Samaritans will really appreciate it. And there you go. Watch me in April 26th, guys. Run 42 kilometers.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
There you go.
It's on. Yeah, I think that's how random, isn't it?
Well, I think there's a good place to end on. We're still growing. We're still growing. And I'm glad that I can be part of this growth towards the London Marathon, to show that I am still growing as a person, despite the fact that I am happy and putting myself first and getting better. I can always keep going further, and I can achieve things I never thought would be possible. That is the same for you guys. So keep watching.
This is hopefully not This is hopefully not our last charity fundraiser either, but we shall see further down the line.
We will. Me time. It means a lot to us. On and raising the awareness of mental health in any capacity. So this special for phase 1 into the future won't be the last time that we support charities and do fundraisers.
Yeah.
There will be more charities we speak out about. There will be more times that we speak more about our experiences as well, because it's always for a good cause. And that is something that we're firm advocates and believers in.
Yeah.
So stay tuned on that.
Yeah.
And until the next time, guys, we will see you very soon. Stay tuned for the more specials to come in the future.
Yeah.
Okay.
Enjoy your me time.
There's always that's it. That's just it.
Yeah.
There's always time for me time.
Yeah.
Not just the podcast.
Yeah.
For you. Me time.
Yeah.
You need it. All right then, guys.
Have a good week. We'll see you soon.
We will see you in the next one. Take
See
it
you
easy. Don't forget to donate.